This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
Man, so how about this? The feed starts, the intro is playing, and my internet freezes. How about it? I had to go back there and get started. Well, welcome. It is 12:03. Welcome to Midnight Run. You want to know who's unhinged? My internet. That's unhinged. That right there. I'm not even joking. Pre-show, everything's fine. We're good to go. We're getting ourselves ready. Myself and Eli, we're getting ready to go. And then literally he hits go live, right? And my screen freezes. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. But we made it. We're here. We're rocking and rolling, ready to go here with you until 1. Got a lot to get to. We got Unpack Wednesday. I have an apology that I have to make later in the show. We're going to also talk a little bit about Kirk Cousins. That's one of the other guys that's available, right? Potential stopgap quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. We'll talk about him. Keep 3, cut 9. Heard on Inside Edge Primetime talk a little bit about that. So we got some events. We'll see which one you can keep. Logan Paul offering up fights and speeding tickets. Myles Garrett back in the news. Let's start with Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz passed away earlier today. Well, March 4th, yesterday. At the age of 89, he had been in hospice care for the past few weeks, about a month or so. He's been in hospice. So, rest in peace, Lou Holtz. Of course, he's made multiple stops at various schools, of course. Just pulling it up here. Started all the way back in 1960 as an assistant at Iowa. He was at William & Mary. He was at UConn, assistant at South Carolina, assistant at Ohio State, which you probably couldn't believe, but an assistant back in 1968. Then he got his first head coaching job at William & Mary in 1969. Various different stops, but we all know him as the legendary head football coach at Notre Dame. Where it's hard to believe that he was only at Notre Dame for 11 seasons, but the impact that he had at Notre Dame, immeasurable. And his love for Notre Dame, even if you hated Notre Dame, and he didn't care if you liked or loved or hated Notre Dame. He was sticking the flag down for Notre Dame, no matter what, he was supporting Notre Dame. And listen, we're going to play Lou Holtz 02 here in 2 seconds here. And listen, I know it's 2026. Certain things that are said are going to be politically incorrect. Lou Holtz spoke in the spirit of competition. Lou Holtz is still trash talking other greats now, defending Notre Dame now at his internal home. He's defending Notre Dame and telling Woody Hayes and others that their school is trash and Notre Dame's the best. So he encourages this kind of trash. So this would make him great. Let's take you back. Again, this is Lou, in our system, Lou Holtz 02. Lou Holtz previewing trash-talking Ohio State before their big matchup back in 2023. And then, of course, the memorable Ryan Day response. This is courtesy of ESPN and NBC for both of these clips. Take a look.
Notre Dame is a better football team than Ohio State. And you look at Coach Day, and everybody that beats him does so because they're more physical than Ohio State. And I think Notre Dame will take that same approach. You take this message to Ohio State. You tell them they better bring their lunch because it's going to be a full damn day's work. Notre Dame wins by 10. By 10.
Wow. Like, I'd like to know where Lou Holtz is right now. What he said about our team, I cannot believe. This is a tough team right here. We're proud to be from Ohio, and it's always been Ohio against the world, and it'll continue to be Ohio against the world. But I'll tell you what, I love those kids, and we got a tough team.
First of all, career promo for Ryan Day. Career promo from Ohio State head coach Ryan Day. But I think it's funny to play that clip right now because Lou Holtz, that's the spirit of competition. We've been talking about this, I think, ever since we started Midnight Run. Where's the rivalries? Where's the heated competition? Where's the trash talking? If you talked about Notre Dame, Lou Holtz is bringing it to you. If you're talking bad about Notre Dame, Lou Holtz, it didn't matter if he was 40 or 80 or 90 or 89. It didn't matter. Lou Holtz is bringing it to you. And even at that clip there, that's what he did. So I love that clip. I love the trash talking. And yes, as a Buckeye fan, you see the Cleveland gear. So, obviously I'm a Cleveland sports guy, Ohio State guy. Yeah, Lou Holtz was the heel. Yeah. What are we doing? Lou Holtz not only didn't care, but he loved it. He embraced being a bad guy against any anti-Notre Dame fan, any anti-Notre Dame person. That was the spirit of Lou Holtz. And I think a lot of that team spirit, a lot of, not to be corny, but the school spirit, a lot of that is missing in today's sports. Especially at the college and pro levels, in the days of NIL where it's just who's going to provide a bigger paycheck. In the days of pro sports where free agency, I don't mean to take a shot at James Harden, he's just the one who said it, where loyalty is no longer a thing, right? Lou Holtz is Notre Dame football. Lou Holtz is Notre Dame, whether we liked it or not. And that's what made him great. Now, I will admit, I am 34 years old, a proud millennial. So during the days where he was coaching at Notre Dame, I was a little toddler, a little baby. In fact, when he won the national championship in 1988, your boy was 4 years away from being born. So I didn't see it other than, the highlight tapes and stuff. Real quick, Lou Holtz, 249 wins. As a college head coach, 249 wins, 132 losses, 7 ties, and a winning bowl record as well, plus a ton of awards. In my eyes, on top of everything he accomplished as a coach, on top of being the biggest Notre Dame homer ever, and this is a big loss for the Notre Dame community, he was a television legend. What some of you may not realize is those who are probably younger than Eli, you may not realize this. There was a time from like the mid-2000s to the mid-2010s where the best show, one of the best shows on ESPN, aired at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday nights. And it was college football final. Reese Davis, Lou Holtz, and the real Ohio State hater, Mark May. Listen, I know we played that clip a few moments ago of Lou Holtz talking smack about Ryan Day and the Buckeyes, got to bring their lunch and stuff like that. There was no bigger Ohio State Buckeye hater than Mark May. And if you watch college football final from the mid-2000s to the 2010s, through the 2010s, you know that. And 1 a.m. college football final, when that West Coast game was done, that was appointment television between those three, Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz. And they used to do classic segments. I remember they ended the show every week with the helmet stickers, and loved it. It was a great way to cap off a Saturday at 1:58 in the morning. Those helmet stickers, it was great. But what made this show, what made Lou Holtz, Notre Dame head football coach, esteemed ESPN analyst broadcast, what made him special was that he had fun on television. He enjoyed himself on TV. And at that unhinged hour, I know we talk about this show, but that unhinged hour, 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, when you're stumbling inside, probably drunk as you know what, and you just flip on ESPN, and there's just images on ESPN. You got these guys going at it. And Eli, if you got it ready, Lou Holtz 01, you got crazy segments like this, courtesy of ESPN.
Same guy wore the leprechaun uniform, I might add, because of some idiot comment he made.
Okay, I'd like that stricken from the record. That's 2 times you've referred to your esteemed co-counselor as an idiot, or not really co-counselor, counselor. I know you do, but he also took a little subtle jab, Moby Dick and a minnow at your last championship. I will strike that from the record as well. Counselor Holtz, I am really persuaded in your favor that Notre Dame has a tremendous football team and appears to be a team of destiny, and it looks as if the Irish certainly are on their way to trying to end the SEC streak at 6 in a row. But then I start looking at the other side of the coin, and I start thinking about the way Alabama has big game experience and so much talent on defense and an emerging running game that nobody's been able to stop.
And you graduated from Alabama.
But the most important, that should be stricken from the record too. And I'd also say I resent the fact that you say that his honor is not anything but fair. So I'd have to say that we've got more than a month to hash this out. So I'm going to take it under advisement, issue a continuance, and
what?
I'm retiring to Chambers.
No,
boy.
Chambers, no.
I've got on my robe.
This is the last weekend of the season. You can't do this.
I've got on my robe, and I'm retiring to Chambers.
You have to make a decision. That's what you're there for. You can't do a continuance. No. It's the last weekend of the season. This is the last regular weekend of the season.
Bailiffs, get him out of here.
I tell you why. You're lucky he didn't make a decision, because if he did, it would have been for Notre Dame.
He doesn't
want to go against his alma mater, and that's why he's not making one. He doesn't want to lie, and he doesn't want to go against Notre Dame. It's so obvious. Why can't you say, I know, you look good in a leprechaun uniform, Mark.
That'll never, ever happen again, Counselor Holtz. Ever.
Man, that's courtesy of ESPN. If you appreciate, you could be great on the football field as a coach, and you don't get a television job more than likely if you're not great on the field or a great coach, anything like that. But you have a rare opportunity when you do take those jobs to have a large impact on television viewing. And Lou Holtz, I hate to admit this too, he hated on Ohio State for forever. Mark May and Reese Davis did that. And, man, it's just – and sometimes we take those segments and those shows for granted, but that they came along right when social media was getting popular. So you're hearing Lou Holtz go crazy. And that made it fun. That made it exciting. I watch, there's an entire generation, multiple generations now, who have never seen Charles Barkley play basketball. They don't care. They tune in to hear his opinions. And to be entertained. Kenny Smith, they didn't watch Houston Rockets basketball. And believe it or not, we're starting to reach people who never seen Shaq play basketball. We're getting to that point. So to have that kind of impact on television is just huge. It's just huge. So rest in peace, Lou Holtz, all-time GOAT, all-time Notre Dame, Fighting Irish. That's that guy. Incredible career, coaching, and also on television as well, and a complete ambassador of Notre Dame. All right, coming up in a little bit, we got Unpack Wednesdays. So I got to quickly address Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett, his 9th speeding ticket. And, it's I hate to do this because I'm gonna go all Rob Ruzicki on you because and I'm not proud to do that. Believe me, I am not proud to go this route, but it might have to happen. And first off, I'm just gonna say this. I just have questions. Don't you get points after each speeding ticket? Don't you lose your license after a certain number of points? I believe, 12 points, your license is suspended? This is his 9th speeding ticket. Now, I'm not going to go up here. Listen, I'm not going to go up here and say I drive better than Myles Garrett because, knock on wood, something may happen in my future that would debunk that. So I would not do that. I'm not going to do that. This is pretty serious. Driving at those speeds, I think he was clocked at 94 miles per hour? 94. Thank you, Eli. 94 miles per hour. He's going to kill somebody or kill himself. And I'm not going to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I don't mean to be, but the dude's going to kill somebody speeding like that. It all it takes at that high speed is one wrong turn or an innocent person driving next to him not being aware of Myles' next move, and that causes a major accident and somebody's killed. Somebody loses a loved one. I get it. Listen, I get it. If you're in the fast lane, don't drive 40 miles per hour in the fast lane. I get that. But believe me, I get that, right? But there's a certain level of decorum, right? Look, listen, I get it. Listen, he's not getting those tickets in Willoughby Hills for driving 2 miles per hour above the speed limit. More on that at 11. But in this case, this is reckless. And did he not learn anything from what happened to him, unfortunately, a few years ago when he flipped his own vehicle? He was inside, we could have lost him then if something wrong would have took place. So I just hope for the sake of all involved, because, we see maniacs all the time. My one fear of the summer, because this happened, and granted, this incident happened in February. This is his 9th speeding ticket. Myles Garrett gets a speeding ticket every winter, spring, summer, and fall. If I didn't know any better, I think I just referenced a Gerald Levert song. Winter, spring, summer, fall. All seasons, Myles Garrett's getting a ticket. A speeding ticket. My one fear, it happens every summer when it gets warm. We're getting close to my favorite season, that season. We're getting close. When the weather picks up, everyone comes out to play. You're going to have faster drivers on the road. It's going to be like, I remember vividly coming home from working an iHeart shift at 11 o'clock or midnight on a night after the Guardians played. And 480 might as well be a racetrack. Like the Valley View Bridge might as well be part of the NASCAR race circuit because of how fast people are recklessly driving on the road. One wrong turn, that's that. So, yeah, I think it's time. This goes beyond the football stuff. He's going to do what he does on the football field, cool. And by all accounts, we've heard Myles Garrett, a good guy, right? It's time to take the keys away from Myles Garrett. First off, you're a professional football player. I get it. If I had that high status, I probably still want to get behind the wheel and drive myself instead of having somebody drive for me. I want the control of driving. I get that. I understand that. But you have proven time and time again that you're not responsible enough to be out there on the road. And driving that fast, we're not even talking questionable levels. We're talking reckless driving. He only is still allowed to drive because he's Myles Garrett. If it was me, I would have lost my license would have been suspended after the first or second speeding ticket. His ninth, and he's still allowed to drive in our streets here in Northeast Ohio. If you don't take the keys away from this guy, we're talking 9. Cats have 9 lives. You don't take the keys away from this guy, I fear what could happen. Let's move on. When we come back, Unpack Wednesdays is up next. We got a loaded one. We got some video to play for you with Logan Paul. Keep 3, cut 9. We got that for you. And Kirk Cousins, we'll talk about him. And I have an apology. Sometimes I have a take, and after I sit down, I realize I was wrong. I have to apologize for a take I had on yesterday's show. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Plus, our workout of the week. We'll have that for you as we close out this week of Midnight Run. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. You want to start your weekend. I know it's Wednesday, but it's March 5th. You got to get the weekend going with AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Phenomenal smelling candles. The burn time compared to the competition. When you get these candles, they're going to last a lot longer than the competition because my friend Allison, who is the owner for over a year now of Alley Rose Fragrances, just celebrated the 1-year anniversary of creating the company. She uses natural ingredients. These are all handcrafted candles. So whether you have the frosted berry candle, which I enjoyed for a while, or you got the snickerdoodle candle that it was almost here today. It'll be here tomorrow. It's going to be here tomorrow. The snickerdoodle candles or any other candles. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Also, body mists. You can check those out as well. And remember, if you're a first-time customer, these are already affordable. Use that promo code InsideEdge20 at checkout. InsideEdge20.com. AlleyRoseFragrances.com. Our network sponsor here at the Inside Edge Network. I'm Anthony Alford. You can call me Double A. Stay close. We're back. 2 and 2. Back after this.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford. This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
It is 12:28. Welcome back to the show. Anthony Alford back here with you. Eli Moon, the golden child's my producer, here with you until 1 o'clock. We got a ton to get to here on Unpack Wednesdays. We do this every Wednesday. There's a ton of stories to get to. All stories are important. I just want to clarify this. All stories are important. But considering that this is my Friday, we're on every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night at midnight. Considering that this is my Friday, there are certain stories that get pushed to the end of the week. So there's a couple that we still haven't gotten to. I promise we will talk Olympic basketball in like May. We'll get to it. I have strong takes on that, but we'll get to it in May. I want to start with Kirk Cousins. All this week, we've been examining some of the different options that the Browns will be tied into to potentially, boost up that quarterback room. And here's the thing, and we have it here, the pros and cons of Kirk Cousins. 38 years old. He's not going to, even though his career earnings say otherwise, the fact that he's going to be cut. And real quick, think about this. For years, we have said that Kevin Stefanski's perfect quarterback is Kirk Cousins. And for years, Kevin Stefanski and Kirk Cousins were linked and tied to each other. And eventually it can happen here. Kevin Stefanski gets the job in Atlanta. The stars have aligned, except they didn't. Kirk Cousins is going to be released, and he'll be in the open market, 38 years old. I think he'll have, again, considering that the draft class is weak with quarterbacks. We know Mendoza's going to the Raiders. And considering that the free agency class with quarterbacks is iffy at best, we'll kind of see where things align with guys like Kirk Cousins, who, again, 38 years old. He's not going to command nearly as much money as Malik Willis, definitely, and many others. I actually think Kyler Murray is going to make more money than Kirk Cousins. Not to say that Kyler Murray is a better player, but in terms of age, in terms of potential long-term future, or even a short-term, talking 2 to 3 year range or beyond, Kyler Murray brings that to you. Kirk Cousins does not. Now, what Kirk Cousins does bring you, he went, 5-3 in his final 8 games with the Atlanta Falcons. Believe it or not, the Atlanta Falcons, in a wacky, wonky NFC South, had something to do with how the NFC South went near the end of the season. Atlanta was playing better ball at the end of the season with Kirk Cousins. In fact, Kirk Cousins was the more healthy quarterback after dealing with injuries, a ton of injuries over time. And those injuries previously derailed Cousins' career, we'll call it post-pandemic. So Cousins has an opportunity for a fresh start. He would obviously be a stopgap quarterback if you brought him here in Cleveland. Kirk Cousins is somebody who you legitimately bring in to compete with Shedeur Sanders, with Deshaun Watson, and you give Todd Monken somebody who knows how to run an NFL offense. I would like to say consistent, but if we're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders being inconsistent, boy, oh boy, Kirk Cousins, and I wish we got to get Scott Pennyman on this show, because Scott Pennyman covered the Atlanta Falcons, and he could tell you, he's from here in Cleveland. He could tell you, Kirk Cousins, 1 week, he's going to give you 3, 4, maybe that special 5 touchdown game where you're like, dude, he's the best quarterback in the league. And then the next week, he's going to give you 2 or 3 interceptions and it look like he doesn't belong on the field. That's the Kirk Cousins experience. Kind of like Shedeur Sanders, which brings me back to what we talked about yesterday. Can you legitimately win more games with Kirk Cousins than you would with Shedeur Sanders? Now, I believe many of you are saying, probably not. And I believe that's the right answer. But let's say that I'm wrong. Let's just say Kirk Cousins, Eli and I had this conversation yesterday on the show. How far away is 10 wins? That 10 wins is what we believe, 10 or 11 wins. We'll go with the low mark. 10 wins. You're in prime position to win the AFC North. 10 wins. Can Kirk Cousins get you to 10 wins? I don't know about 10. Maybe 7, maybe 8 wins, which is not bad. Except that'll take you out of draft position for 2027. So you don't win anything. You win. I award you no points with signing Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins here in Cleveland doesn't make any lick of sense. We have seen it in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has had several. Aaron Rodgers. I guess you can lump in Aaron Rodgers with this, even though they weren't intending on this to be. But a lot of stop and start gap situations in Pittsburgh where, you can have a 500 season, but they're not getting better. And we always talk about you might as well figure out what you have with Shedeur. So Kirk Cousins, again, entertain the conversation. It'll be fine. Entertain it. And at the end of the day, Todd Monken, Andrew Berry, they have one shot at this. So if they, like I said yesterday with Anthony Richardson, with any other quarterback that we've talked about, if you have a concrete plan and you identify Kirk Cousins is our guy to get us to the next level, sure, do whatever it takes within reason. I just don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. Eli, let me bring you in here on this. The golden child, Eli Moon, hosts one half of Inside Edge Primetime, which, by the way, if you did not catch Inside Edge Primetime, a lot of news broke on Primetime tonight. So after this show, watch Eli and Chad. A lot of news broke there on their show. Yes. But when you hear Kirk Cousins, what are you thinking?
I mean, it'd be interesting. Because, he is a guy, you said 5-3. You double that, 10-6. Maybe you give him an extra game 11. I mean, it is 10 wins, but you also had Bijan Robinson. You also had Kyle Pitts, who played a little bit better down the stretch. Drake London, a better wide receiver than any receiver the Browns have right now. And I'd argue Darnell Mooney competes with Jerry Jeudy right now in terms of talent. In terms of at least production talent, I think potential there, Jerry Jeudy, it's clear who has more potential. But I think you weigh all that. I don't think you bring Kirk Cousins in AA. I mean, I don't think you do the same thing you did last year and muddy the situation. I think you make it just as clear cut as possible. It's either Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson, and that's what it should be.
Would it almost be a repeat of Joe Flacco? I mean, Kirk Cousins is not coming off the couch, but it almost screams a Joe Flacco 2.0 situation. I'm talking to 2025 Joe Flacco 2.0 situation if you bring in Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, it's what it seems like. Yeah, a 38-year-old Kirk Cousins who was on TV, a month or two ago talking about how the Patriots are coming back and starting a dynasty again, the second coming of the dynasty. So I don't know if I want that guy in a locker room right now. If it seems like he already has 1 foot out the door and 1 foot, that other foot being in a studio, a TV studio. So I think, I don't know, and I'm a Kirk Cousins guy. I mean, he went to Michigan State. I liked him, at Washington. When the big hoopla about him getting out of Washington, when they kept franchise tagging him, I was like, man, get him to Cleveland. I think that ship sailed, though. It's 38-year-old Kirk Cousins now. It's not 28-year-old Kirk Cousins. So
yeah, that's the big point. Thanks, Eli. That's the big point. We did this show 10 years ago. On All Sports. We were talking 28-year-old Kirk Cousins with a bright future. I think he He already said, you like that. You like that. It was over 10, 11, 12 years ago he said that. Yeah, Eli brings up a good point, too. I'm glad he brought it up. You got this guy on CBS talking about, oh, yeah, this is the start of the Patriots dynasty. You know what? Go play for the Patriots. Be Drake May's backup. You believe that? Be his backup. So, yeah, my point still stays. Again, I'm not saying don't entertain the conversation. You do your due diligence, see where his head's at, see what's going on. But look, you got a new coaching staff. See what you got in Shedeur Sanders. I hate to say this too, but you are still paying Deshaun Watson. You still have that 2017 Tesla in your locker room that still is owed a ton of money. Figure out what you have in-house before you do the reset in 2027. If you need to do the reset. I have to make an apology. On this show yesterday, I went in on the McDonald's CEO. I went in. I'm like, dude, he has no idea how to hold a sandwich. He has no idea how to pick it up. He has no idea. He's promoting the Big Arc sandwich. He has no idea. I have to apologize. The CEO is a marketing genius. He put out that video a month ago. And you got other people, other CEOs copycatting. Like this CEO, the McDonald's, Chris K. That's what he goes by on social media. The McDonald's CEO. For him, he seems like a normal guy. Now listen, he should still like his products. But he treats these as product. Like, hey, I think this could be good. I think this could be something, right? Now, I like the Burger King CEO. Like, hey, I know how to eat a sandwich. I get this. I know how to eat a sandwich. But then the Wendy's CEO comes in and all of a sudden, it's just rich people showing us how to eat sandwiches. Take a look at this. So I don't even know if we'll play the whole thing here, but take a look at the Wendy's CEO attempting to eat his sandwich.
These fresh, never frozen beef, our Applewood smoked bacon, our brand new bun, our square burger cooked on a flat grill. Amazing. Absolutely wonderful. That's a burger. This is exactly the way a great hamburger should be. You got to top it off with the fries and Frosty. Excellent.
Not bad, right?
Only one thing missing, a napkin.
Chris K here with, you've heard about it, here it is, the Big Arch. This is something that we have tested already. It's in Portugal, Germany, Canada. I love this product. It is so good. I'm going to do a tasting right now, but I'm going to eat this for my lunch, just so you know. So here we go. First, holy cow. God, that is a big burger. We've got a very unique kind of sesame poppy sort of bun on it. We've got 2 quarter-pound patties, a delicious Big Arch sauce, and of course some lettuce. So, there's so much going on with this. First of all, let's try to get this thing, I don't even know how to attack it. Got so much to it. Oh, there's also some crispy onions on here as well. I see those kind of coming out. All right, the moment of truth. That is so good. That's a big bite for a Big Arch. It's distinctively McDonald's. Only McDonald's could do this type of burger, but it also is unlike anything else on our menu. It's a delicious product. You know, you've got sort of the cheeses and the gooiness, but those crispy onions as well gives a nice texture. And of course, we've got the pickles. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my lunch, but Big Arch, try it when you can get it.
Bruh. Eli, you know what just happened? You know what just happened there?
What just happened?
Imagine if Chris Collinsworth was the CEO of McDonald's and he gave a PFF grade on his sandwich.
Yeah, yeah, that's actually probably the best comparison I've heard so far. That might be the best comparison.
Listen,
it was such a tiny bite.
It was a tiny bite, but it was like he understood the assignment. It was like he was thinking chess. The rest of us was thinking checkers.
It's true.
Props to Chris K, the McDonald's CEO. Props to him. He's like, I mean, this is a lot. This is good stuff. Meanwhile, the Wendy's CEO, you're going to take a breath before you eat your sandwich? You're going to take a break? You're going to, listen, I once got slapped by my mom for eating a sandwich that fast. Like, that's what you need, some water. You need to chill. Like, and he didn't put any sauce on that sandwich either. I think it was just patties on the burger. Which I don't mind. Again, this is me. I don't like ketchup or mustard. So I get it. Yeah, that's a hot take. Yeah, that's an unhinged take at 12:44 at night. I do not like ketchup or mustard. All right? You will not attack me when we get to Guardian season for not trying stadium mustard. Ooh, you got to get your stadium mustard. Yeah, okay. Have that thing squirt all over the place. Nah, I'm good. No, none of that. I will show you my cheddar popcorn from B.A. Sweeties. It's gone. I ate it. It's all gone. I can't even show you the product. Like, here's a true testament to a real product. Something that's completely gone. I'm not digging through the trash to grab the bag, but the cheddar popcorn, amazing stuff. You get all sorts of phenomenal, great popcorns. And that's just a start. You get candies, traditional candies, classic candies, a ton of stuff if you're a sour lover. Now, I told Tom over at B.A. Sweeties that the sour is not for, I like more sweets, but they have a ton of collection. I know plenty of people. I think Kyle, my Side Hustle Wrestling podcast co-host, he likes the sour candies. And one of the things they have is like sour patches, sour sprays. There's a lot of unique stuff you can get at B.A. Sweeties here locally in Cleveland. And, of course, the classic pops as well, the classic sodas. There's a huge difference, ladies and gentlemen, between just a regular soda, can of soda, and the glass soda with the classic sugar cane flavoring. Get that at B.A. Sweeties. Over 75 years of business. It's the largest candy store in North America. B.A. Sweeties is right here in Cleveland, Northeast Ohio. Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road. You'll see a giant lollipop right there. Enter inside. It smells phenomenal. I guess Alley Rose Fragrances and B.A. Sweeties, one thing they have in common, they both smell really good. They're both great. B.A. Sweeties, let them know. Double A Anthony Alford sent you to B.A. Sweeties Midnight Run, Inside Edge Network, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. Speaking of which, we're going to intersect both real life stuff and pro wrestling because we're going to talk Logan Paul. Logan Paul, Myles Garrett, Tom Brady, smack talk for $1 million. We'll talk about that on the other side back after this.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
All right, so we're going to play this Logan Paul clip in just a moment. I want you to think about these following events because we're going to talk about this after. You can only keep 3 of these events. I'm going to name them to you. March Madness, the NBA playoffs, WNBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, college football playoff, NFL playoffs, MLB postseason, College World Series, Wimbledon, the World Cup, the Olympics, and the Masters. All specialty events, all major events. Sam Block had this on his Twitter right after we went off the air. He had this. You can only keep 3. Think about which 3 you're keeping. We'll talk about that in about 3 minutes or so, 3 or 4 minutes from now. Logan Paul, he was on his podcast. Anytime Logan Paul talks, I don't know if it's on his podcast or another podcast. I'm going to credit his podcast. I don't think we'll get in trouble if he was on somebody else's podcast. We're going to reference it, but we're showing it airtime. Eli, I need to bring you in on this. It was Eli and Chad who brought this to my attention. Set us up. What was going on here?
Yeah, basically, so Chad brought this to my attention, that basically Logan Paul, the Tom Brady clip that, Tom Brady saying that WWE, wrestlers that, they really just aren't the same as like football players or, other athletes. And I'm paraphrasing Tom Brady, and then you have Logan Paul now, I guess, calling out NFL players for a potential fight. I mean, I'm probably doing a real bad job, but,
Let's take a look, courtesy of the Logan Paul podcast.
I wouldn't be surprised if I throw hands with Tom Brady on the field in L.A. Dude, Tom Brady does not want to throw hands. There's a clip of him out there, of him calling me a bitch.
Have the skills he's a football?
To Gronk of all people, who I beat up all of his brothers back to back. The Gronks lined up, and I beat them up back to back to back. And guess who didn't step in there? Mr. Gronk himself. And yet they're calling me a bitch.
Don't do this.
I do think it's cute. If any of the football players want to fight, we can see what happens.
What football players would straight up beat his ass?
Not a single one.
Name one.
Not a single one.
Don't do all that, bro.
I would put any amount of money that you could put.
DK. Metcalf?
Not a single football player could beat me in a boxing match.
Myles Garrett.
That is on God.
Myles Garrett?
I would throttle Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett. I will bet you why did we choose him? It could be any name, but any football player. Myles Garrett, Puka Nacua, Tom Brady, Gronk. I don't even know.
Don't even try calling out Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
No, don't do it, bro.
Doesn't matter. $1 million. $1 million. You come to the gym, we put on boxing gloves, we see how it goes. Not a single one. Like, it's this. There's levels to this shit.
Chad Ochocinco?
Bro, stop. I will throw hands with any of you motherfuckers, bro.
What about Antonio Brown?
Stop. What happens when you take a football player and you wrestle them and then you ground and pound them? They're not going to know what to do.
Yo. All right. Do we need to put the tape of Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph? We want to go down that path. No holds barred on a Thursday morning. We want to go down that path. Listen. I am going to say this. Tom Brady needs to be careful. Okay. He can't be calling anybody the B word. He can't be going around saying that WWE wrestling are full of clowns and stuff like that. He needs to be careful. Because you're going to find somebody who, like, go buddy. somebody's going to be a crazy person out there that's going to show Tom Brady otherwise. So he needs to be careful. He can't be doing that. One of those guys is going to want some smoke from Logan Paul. Now, Logan does bring up a good point. And this is where I actually will defer to Eli here, because Eli actually wrestled, not like pro wrestling, but actual wrestling back in his day. There is a difference, right, with ground and pound wrestling as opposed to, hey, I'm a football player. I don't mean to describe it like that, but a little bit of a difference in style, right, Eli?
Yeah, a little bit difference there. Yeah, I mean, when I wrestled, all the way into even high school, the football players, and I played football, but, a lot of football players, especially linemen, would wrestle to get in shape or stay in shape for football season. And it's a different learning curve, for especially a lineman, a double leg takedown is a little different than a pancake block. So I just think there's a little bit different skill level, but Myles Garrett is still a freak of nature. I mean, so maybe be careful on who is saying any NFL player. I mean, that's
yeah. Don't say any. No. Don't say any. And that's the difference. Like, linemen, even running backs, a lot of times they do wrestling. The receivers are playing basketball. They're hooping. And sometimes the tailbacks are hooping. But your linemen, they're the ones wrestling. And some of the, fullbacks, remember that position? Quiz a person under the age of 18. Ask them what a fullback does. Those are the differences. Tom Brady ain't wrestling. I guarantee you Tom Brady never wrestled a day in his life. Real or fake. He never did it. I'm sorry. Real or predetermined. He never did it. Never happened. All right, quickly, because we got to move here to end the show. I gave you 12 events. We didn't have time to screenshot it and put it on the screen. But think of all the major events. Postseason events. Not what's your favorite sports? But postseason events. Which one are you keeping? Which 3 are you keeping? The other 9, gotta go. That's that. So the 3 that I'm keeping, definitely March Madness. Definitely keeping March Madness. There ain't nothing like March Madness. Definitely keeping it. It's the greatest weekend of sports. From that Thursday to Sunday. I'm keeping the NBA playoffs. There's something, I know people dread why are the NBA playoffs so long? It starts in mid-April. It doesn't end till June. Are you kidding me? I get the calendar. But every single night, there are important basketball games with huge stakes. Every single night, there are huge stakes. And you're at least guaranteed 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3 competitive basketball games every single night from mid-April all the way to the finals. And it gets you through those spring nights. So the NBA playoffs, in my opinion, gets me ready for the summer. So definitely the NBA playoffs would be number 2. And then number 3 is really tough. 3 is really tough. If I was a bigger hockey fan, I would have definitely said the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hockey is just not on my radar, but I respect the Stanley Cup playoffs. A lot of other playoff systems and stuff I respect, special events. Of course, the Masters is fantastic. The Olympics, we just finished up the Olympics. That was awesome. That was fantastic. I would say the Major League Baseball postseason would be my 3rd. For me, the fact that every pitch could lead to something big time. Every pitch could lead to something big. All the stories, every pitching matchup. How quickly can you get to the bullpen? Does a starter need to go deep down the stretch? Who's going to get that big homer? Can you survive a thunderous lineup? Huge. All that stuff is huge. So for me, I'm keeping March Madness because of the weekend drama. I'm keeping the NBA playoffs because there's drama every single night. And I'm keeping the Major League Baseball postseason because it's full of high stakes. Every pitch matters. Quickly before we wrap, the workout of the week, try some lunges. Lunges is the workout of the week. Obviously works, your thighs, your calves, kind of works on that. What I do, depending on the cycle, I do like 3-week cycles. So I'll do 4 sets of 10, week 1, 4 sets of 8, week 2, 4 sets of 6, week 3, and you just go back and forth. Forward lunges. I'm going to start incorporating backwards lunges and maybe some side lunges as well. So you do some lunges, and you really want to get your knees down a little bit. Don't rush through it. So lighter weight matters. We're all adults. You don't need to show off at the gym or anything like that. Lightweight, as long as you're technically sound, you could do lunges with dumbbells, with 5-pound dumbbells. It doesn't matter. As long as you're getting the necessary form and you're getting your knees close to the floor, you'll be in good shape both ways. So give it a shot this weekend. The workout of the week on lunges. Give it a shot. See how it goes. All right, that's going to do it for me. For Eli Moon, for our entire Inside Edge Network crew. I'm Double A Anthony Alford signing off. By the way, make sure you like and subscribe. You see the QR code. I'm going to actually point the opposite way because that's probably how it's shown. The QR code's over there. Subscribe to us on YouTube and check out our brand new website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. You see all the latest updates from all of our shows, all of our programming here on the Inside Edge Network. I'll be back on the air Friday morning for the Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast. We'll go over the Elimination Chamber. We'll talk Cody and Drew. They're going to have a championship match on Friday and all the other stuff going on leading into WrestleMania. And we'll have a ton of We got a new show on Friday. If you didn't hear about it, watch Inside Edge Primetime. They got details on that. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next time this upcoming Monday on Midnight Run.